Hello, and welcome to my entry for the Global Hybrid War Sky Edition. This is only one part of my team. I'm just gonna call them Team Apex, which consists of Romeo, my biologically accurate Rodan, or Titanopteryx vulcani, or winged volcano titan, and also Zephyr, and his partner will be Zephyr Parador Rathus, or Rathel Sky Emperor, or Dreadel the Rathalos. And but Dreadl's design is pending as I kind of submit him on the side as like a ask for metriogenetics to make art for, and I'm just gonna send in Romeo for right now because he's way bigger than any other functioning flying hybrid that's ever been made. He uses Hatzegopteryx as the base. He uses Zungaripterus for a more robust skull, and as well as the teeth in this poorly drawn skull I made. And he uses Argentinosaurus to increase his size and give him better air sacs. So, hence why he's this big. And this is a really short person for comparison. And he also uses Kookaburra for a more serrated beak and a stronger, more serrated, thicker beak. And stronger neck, and that allows him to perform quick whipping strikes with his jaw, with his beak and neck, and basically his fighting style will mostly consist of him just pecking something to death, or swinging them around, or either using something like a flail to smash into another target, or just peck something to death, or he uses his talons from the golden eagle to grab and grip and rip apart anything that gets in his way. He also has a secret weapon in the form of his nose. That schnoz there is from the Galapagos iguana, which sneezes salt. And I'm sort of exaggerating this ability a bit, which it shouldn't kill it. While it might not work, it won't make my thing's head explode. So I'm not really risking too much with that. And it would basically act, at this scale, it would act like a sort of shotgun. And would either swish cheesing anything that gets in its way, or straight up just punch the hole clean through them. Another thing is that his eyes are increased have increased power thanks to the golden eagle, and the vampire, he has increased jumping power and a buffered up immune system from the vampire bat, and his talons, beak, and fang and jaws are strengthened by the vampire bat's iron distribution, and also the pyrite from the scaly-footed gastropod. And also another thing, Romeo is capable of living near or in volcanoes thanks to the scaly-footed gastropod and the African flamingo. The flamingos, it provides tougher skin, which is built upon by the great white shark, and also the arapaima. The shark gives it denticles that are meant to reduce drag, and also are very, very small and sort of overlap like pangolin scales in a more flat way. So it's near impossible to grab onto him and to peck at him or smash into him or do anything. So good luck grappling him. And judging by the size of his opponents, Nezuko and sorry, I just. Sorry, just a moment. Yes, he will be fighting Nezuko and Doma, and one of them I'm pretty sure was actually based on my logo, which was an Astalos by Goji Headquarters themselves. And personally, I really like the Astalos one. I don't know which one it is, but awesome job with it. Anyways, Romeo has a has like a 75-foot wingspan, 25 feet in height, and has scales identical structured with like Arapaima scales, making it near impossible to injure, making it near impossible to damage, and near impossible to grab on to. So he pretty much has every one of his bases protected by, whether it be by scales or, well, being a big-ass bird. Pterosaur in this case. Yeah. Also, those scales are harder than iron, so yeah, mine is basically this should probably be the most powerful flyer, whether by power alone, and just because it's this big doesn't mean it's no slouch when it comes to speed. At this size, it should reach nearly 100 miles per hour at max, I think, because of how wide its wings are, and possibly how I'm taking in hotter air from volcanic areas. I think that allow him to rise faster and make him lighter. And at this size, he weighs a modest 900 to 1,200 pounds. So he's not while he cannot pick up a T-Rex or anything, he can definitely. He's just going to decapitate he can decapitate most ground-based hybrids and turn any flying hybrids into soup. So yeah, this is part of Team Apex for the Global Hybrid War. Dreadel will be coming soon. I assume. Maybe, I don't know. But but also the rules stated that you can only submit one to two large creatures, and with how big Romeo is, I feel like he would do well by himself as a singular member. But if he's able to have like one smaller or medium-sized flyer in the form of Dreadel, that's all the better for him. And I'm just gonna give a rundown of Dreadel's genome. He uses Golden Eagle as a base. Uses a platypus for its the venomous spur on its foot. Basically mimicking the Rathalos' toxic talons. Utah Raptor is used for the leg structure and Sickle Claw, and giving it a much stronger grip than most other birds with his similar build, and also allowing him to be much bigger than the others. And its leg power is further strengthened by the cassowary, which allows him to jump a lot higher and also kick a lot harder and run very, very fast. Southern Flannel Moth and Cairo's Spiny Mouse for lightweight for sort of spiny hair, and the mouse also contributes osteoderms under parts of the dermis, which will keep him light, but also near impossible to harm by something similar to him, like in size at least. Also, even though I didn't put this on, it gives him a faster regeneration, but that doesn't really come into play in the middle of a fight. But it can heal broken bones, which is incredibly useful for a bird. And a crow adds intelligence and vocal and allows it to become the mimic. And the southern giant petrel boosts its immune system. It gives it increased strength to its stomach and ability to vomit a corrosive substance that eats away the feathers of other flyers, which, if combined with him throwing a bucket of water on them, will make it near impossible for them to fly. The crested honey buzzard gives it scales across its body and on the parts of its body, and also makes its feathers stronger and interlock, which makes it even harder to injure by any means, especially it would normally help more if it was going up against something like corn or a bunch of bees, but he can get he'll have all the armor he needs. Anyways, the albatross gives him increases the stamina, and allows it to make bonds with partners, and gives it larger wings. The limpet gives Gothite enhancement to talons, beak, and some of the scales and quills. Southern Flannel Moth is probably the most horrifying contributor in the whole thing. It modifies those hairs from the mouse it makes them urticating, which allows him to sort of fling some of them at his opponents with his wing or talons, and like scratches against himself to fling them at his opponents, and they are incredibly irritating. And not only that, so it also has venomous spines across the whole body, so which are extraordinarily painful to experience. And I don't really need the venom it produces to be deadly. I just need to prevent the opponents from effectively fighting back against Dreadel. So basically, Dreadel is armored from head to toe in all the unexpected places, and is near impossible to critically injure without hurting yourself. Is there anything else I missed? Oh yeah, his stats. He is about 6'5", is 13 feet in length, 6.5 feet in height, is 13 feet in length, has a weight of 26 feet, weighs 105 pounds, but at this size he probably weighs about 110. His speed on the ground is roughly about 35 miles an hour. His usual cruising speed is about 50 to 60 miles per hour, and his maximum speed is similar to that of a Peregrine Falcon, but like around 300 miles an hour. But I might be overestimating because he's not a Peregrine Falcon, and also he might be a bit slowed down by his size. However, that doesn't really matter because while it's not the fastest, it is one of the fastest and weighs a crap ton. Excuse me. But basically, this thing is probably going to is like a stronger version of Maddie, and basically takes the potential of what something like Avis could have had by making it bigger and stronger and bringing unique things to the table. So, anyways, that's my submission. I'm pretty sure I will see the art as soon as I get art for Dreadel. I will post it. Anyways, that's it.